Hi everybody, this is Christine. Welcome to Scrappin' Rabbit. The fall craft fair season is coming upon us very quickly, and I thought I'd share this little project on how to make a fabric covered journal that I think would probably sell very well at craft fairs. It's not expensive to make and it's very quick. And what this is a journal that's covered in fabric, and it's got a pocket on the inside, and it's so easy and quick to make. You can make a few of these at the same time and you'll be done before you know it. So I made a tutorial that I'm going to share with you right now, and it's in two parts, and it's going to take you through step by step on how I made this little planner. You can also use it as a journal if you prefer. You can put some journaling pages in there. And I used a little planner from the dollar store. It was only $1.25. Let me show you the inside. This is what I bought at the dollar store. It had a little cover on it. I just removed the cover and I stitched the pages inside the fabric covers. The fabric covers have chipboard, thick chipboard, so you can write in here no problem. And I'm going to show you how to make the covers and insert these little journals. Now the covers on the inside have a pocket, and you don't need to stitch to do this. You can just use your glue gun if you prefer. And if you're into journals and love journals, I thought I'd mention, if you go to YouTube channel Artbee, that's A-R-T-B-E-E, with a period at the end, Lynn, who runs the channel, is having a giveaway. She's actually having 2 giveaways for beautiful journals that she made herself, or planners. And they're definitely more involved than this type here. They've got quite a few sections in them, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So if you want a chance to get one of those planners, head over to her channel. I'll include a link in the description of my video below. And I think it's open only to US residents though, because of the shipping cost, but you can read through her description and she's got all of the details there. So let's get started. I'm going to also include below a link to the list of supplies to make this little journal and the covers. So you can go there, download the list, and let's get cracking. So this is a planner that I picked up at the dollar store. It's a weekly planner. So I'm going to start by taking the planner pages out of the plastic cover, and I'm going to measure it so that I can cut my chipboard covers. So this measures about close to 5 1/4 inches, and then the height is about 7 1/4. So I'm going to cut my chipboard pieces so they're 1/2 inch higher and 1/2 inch wider. And I've already done that. These are the pieces that I'm using. And it's going to leave about 1/4 inch at the top and the bottom. And then I have 1/2 inch over to the right. This is going to be flush with the left edge. And then I have this piece that will go on top like that. So now I'm ready to cover my chipboard. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It's a velour type fabric, and it's got a little bit of stiffness to it. It's a thicker fabric, so this works well for covering planners and journals, and it also an upholstery type fabric works really great for that. So I've got a piece, and I'm going to have to cut this down to size, but first I'm going to position my covers on here, I want to make sure that I have about 3/4 inches at least on each side, and I'm going to leave a 1/4 inch in between the two pieces, and that 1/4 inch is where I'm going to be stitching the journal into. You don't want it too narrow, because then when you close it, even if it's stitched when you close it, it's not gonna lay flat. And also, if you want to add some other items in your planner, you want that little extra thickness. So depending on how many inserts you're going to put in, I'm just putting this one insert, you want to adjust the width. So a good way to do that is I'm just going to stick this in between here like that, and that gives me an idea of how much I need, and a 1/4 inch would be good. This bottom section is going to fold up. This is going to form the pocket. Now I'm going to fold this underneath like that. This is the edge of the fabric and it's kind of ratty. So I'm going to fold this under like that so I get a nice clean edge, and you can either stitch that or glue it down. I'm going to use my sewing machine and I'm just going to stitch this edge down. But anyways, this is going to form the pocket like that, and then the top part will fold down and it's going to go inside. So I'm going to have to trim the length. So in the end, it's going to look like that. This is going to go inside my pockets like that. So I'm going to start by stitching this edge down, and then I'm going to cut my fabric. So I've formed a little seam at the top of my pocket, and now I'm going to cut the length of this fabric. So I've got my two pieces of chipboard in there just so I can measure, and I fold this over, and as long as this top piece can slide inside the pocket, so I don't need to keep the whole length, I'm going to cut it about up to here. So I'm not really pre-measuring my fabric, I'm just eyeballing it. So if you're making a planner that's larger or smaller, you can just cut your fabric as you go. So that's going to go in like that, and then this is going to be here, and then when that closes, I'm going to have my two pockets on each side. Now you could put a little bit of lace on here if you like, some trim. I'm just going to leave it plain for now. I'm going to glue my covers inside the fabric. So I'm going to start by positioning the pocket where I want it, and then make sure that this is going to fit inside the pocket. So now I'm going to put just a little bit of glue at the bottom edge of my chipboard. Also, I'm making sure that I have about a 1/4 inch in between my two pieces of chipboard, and I have some extra fabric on the sides, at least 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to hold this and put a little bit of glue underneath so that it holds it in place. And the same thing on this side. Okay. Now I'm going to put some glue, I guess, around the top edge. And then I'm going to finish gluing the inside. bit here, like that. And then along the bottom edge. Now when I do this bottom edge here, I'm not going to go past the chipboard, because then I'm going to be adding some glue from that side, so I don't want to tack that down. So I'm going to go from here to here. And then I'm going to fold my pocket up. Now, just to keep the pocket in place while I glue the sides, I'm going to put a little bit of glue just along the bottom here. I don't need to glue the top part because it will be stitched, but I mean I could add a little bit of glue if I wanted to. Like that. Yeah, actually I'm going to put some glue up along the center edge too. Like that, and I'm going to let that cool. Now I'm also going to be stitching my planner to the inside, so that's also going to hold the pocket in place. So now I'm going to do the sides here where you can see the chipboard. I'm going to put some glue on the fabric just on the outside edge of the chipboard. So along the fabric, just at the very end of the chipboard. Now I'm not going to attach this yet. I do the same thing on this side. Like that. So I get this little 1/4 inch edge here, and once my journal is inserted, it still lays flat. I could have left even a little bit more room because this fabric is quite thick, so I could have left a little bit more room between the pieces to make a thicker spine, but this still works fine. So now I'm going to finish off these ends, and I'm going to trim away the excess of the fabric. So you can see here that it's sealed off. I'm going to trim off the excess, and I can see where my glue is just by folding this down like that. You don't want to cut the chipboard. I'm going to start by trimming off here. That. And then I can trim off a little bit more. So now I can seal my pocket. Like so. Then I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side. Like so. I'm going to add some trim to cover off these edges. I'm going to attach this lace trim to my covers, and I'm just going to fold it over the edge like so. So that'll give me a nice clean edge, and I'll do that on both sides. So I will just position this on here like that. And then I'm just going to fold it in like that. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. I didn't like the fact that my glue was showing through the lace, so I just covered up the edge with this gold ribbon that I had in my stash. So now, before I finish the closure and embellishing this, I'm going to insert my planner pages.